Hey guys, I'm Kyle,
I'm Kennedy.
I'm Abby.
I'm Lydia.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Riley.
and you guys are listening to the Mixed Messages podcast with the Sustainable Sisters Project. Okay, part one done.
So nerve-wracking.
Okay, so we are going to start this episode by asking the number one question that everyone's going to want to know. How did this happen, and what the heck is Sustainable Sisters Project? So, as the founder, I guess I'll help answer that question. So, Sustainable Sisters Project, I describe as an all girls student activist group based just outside of North Carolina. Just outside of North Carolina. Look at me go already. I'm on point, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And we are meeting virtually once a month, and we're working on outreach projects and bringing content to teenagers like us who want to make a difference. So, how did Sustainable Sisters Project come to be? It was me. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Me, 5 or 6 years old, saying, what the heck is going on in the world? And why is nobody doing anything massive about it? Why is nobody our age doing so many things massive about it? Which, of course, people are. I just didn't know at the time. And also, me being the little feminist that I was like, girl power, girl groups are world change makers. So when everything hit in 2020 and you see people active and trying to make a difference at our age, I said, now might be a time to do that thing you said you were going to do when you were 5. So I made a cute little poster and sent it out on Snapchat and Instagram, and here we are today. That's the little backstory.
Yeah,
I don't know.
basically, I said Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror, and Kyle appeared. No, yeah, Kyle sent out that poster, and I currently live in Florida, and I really wanted to help out, but I was like, how am I going to do this and help out the Charlotte area from Florida? And I was like, you know what? I don't care. Life is really sucky right now. It's been the hardest year of my life, and I wanted to have something positive to focus on. So I didn't really know what it was about, but I've known Kyle 3 or 4 years. So I said, yeah, I'm going to join Kyle. Tell me when the first meeting is. And then, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing it and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then like weeks go by, I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I forgot to. And then yeah, so I just joined a couple weeks late, but I joined, so here we are.
I had the honor of being in a group chat with Kyle. Look at me go, famous. But she's sending us like these TikToks, these Instagrams, all about what's going on in the world, and she's like, I feel like we should do something. I don't remember exactly how it went, but one day I look at the group chat and there's a picture of a poster board for Sustainable Sisters Project, and right below it there's a Zoom meeting. It says Sustainable Sisters Project at this time on this day, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea how happy I was when that many people showed up to that first meeting. Of course, like, not everyone shows up after that point, but, like, seeing that many people come and be like, "I have no idea what's going on, but it sounds kinda cool, like, let's check it out." I was like, "Oh my god, it's happening," and I was, like, shaking the whole time.
Yeah, Kyle
Okay,
helped
so
me too much in class for me to not join something she asked me to join. The least I can do after her helping me in math for like 2 years.
oh my god.
Like a
Oh my gosh, I remember. Yeah, you helped me in math too. When I'd sit there and cry on that test.
Aw,
Yeah.
I'm crying.
No, I'm not good at math, but it's okay.
Lydia, you're good
So
at amazing other things, so.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
So how would you guys describe what we do as a group, aside from laugh and make awful jokes?
Oh wait, okay. I did a scholarship thing for this, and I wrote it down. It was perfect. It was beautiful. Let me find it.
Riley leaves the group for evidence.
I got it. Girls fighting for a better world, discussing topics including women's rights, Black Lives Matter, etc. Planning ways to act upon these topics by making a difference through forms of art, social media, and podcasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I like hearing how you guys describe it because obviously I have a way that I think about it in my head, but I like to know how you guys think of it on the other side that's not in my head that thinks it a million miles a minute.
I think we also created sort of like a safe place for us to talk
Yeah.
about these things because, sometimes you just don't have anyone to discuss these issues with. And we just created a group of girls, like all the same age, who are dealing with the same thing and we're in the same place and we can just talk about it and try and do something. I feel like that's what
Yeah,
we're
go.
trying to
Totally
do here.
agree with that.
I concur. Yes.
I concur. Yeah, going off of Kennedy, I know that like there are people of different races, different sexuality, definitely different upbringings and stuff. And this was just we all pretty much know each other from school or through friends or stuff. So it was nice to start a group where we wanted to cultivate discussion and try and pinpoint exactly what we want to do to help the people around us and on a larger scale help just bring more positivity and, you know, good into the world. And
Yeah.
I think what we've done so far has been really good for how small our group is. We helped the my sister's house, which is a transitional living facility for single women in Charlotte, and we helped get a lot of stuff they needed for all the women there. So I feel like that's a good example. It's really like down to the very core of it. It's women or well, teenage girls supporting teenage girls, but also,
Yeah.
women supporting women and, coming together to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely something different from how you see the other clubs at school like, hey, we're doing speech and debate, we're gonna go volunteer because that's what our club does, we just volunteer. And this one was kind of like, this isn't for college credit, this isn't something that you're just like, hey, this is a hobby of mine, even though I hope that this would be a hobby of yours to take part in the world. It's something like, these are the issues that are happening right now and this is what we are going to do to talk about them and fix them. And I thought that that was really important and just different from other things that you see nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because especially like you said, we all at school, like, beta club do this for credit, but like it's nice, to not have like, because we tried, but not have the administration overhead telling us what we can and can't do, even though it's
Yeah.
not as controversial as they think it is, but it's nice to just be with people who won't like judge you, because like some people at school will just be like, why are you so involved with this, like blah blah blah, you're only a kid. I'm like, hey, you know, someone's got to do it. LOL.
Yeah, and I know Kyle used to talk to us about a lot about how a lot of the boys in our grade would be like, well, why are you a feminist? Yada yada yada, because the connotation of that term is just, it's been dragged through the mud. And
Yeah.
it was always, I always heard it a lot from her that the the boys were like, oh well, you're just like not this awful person, but you just think so much more highly of yourself than other people, and you just think you're above us all. And that's not what feminism is. That's just equal rights. Like, and I
Yeah.
feel like it's important that we got that together, that we were able to, as everybody else is saying, make a safe space to talk about that and not just sit in school, like Lydia said, and be like judged for things that we believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, school can shut it down. I mean, school is almost a toxic environment at times for people who think outside the box. And even we go to a school that is very outside the box, and yet we're still stuck in the same like small-minded mindset that I think you get at a lot of public schools with people that don't agree with you, people that don't have the same experiences that we have. especially like even within our group, we are very different. Each of us is very different. And we have all come together for one cause, one message, which is just equality and unity. And I love that. I love that I did reach out and go beyond what I thought was, comfortable, because obviously sending that out, if nobody showed up, I would have been heartbroken. But I'm so glad that I did it, because now I've brought you guys together, and now we are a group, and I love it. Like it's like heartwarming to me to have this group of girls united and doing what I always dreamed we could do, you know?
For sure.
I think that's what I really love about this club because it's like it really gives us a safe space to encourage our activism and to keep going with it because like how Kyle said and how the other girl said, like even though our school is very like diverse and full of different people coming from different races and sexualities and experiences, there's still like this limited mindset that can often discourage that kind of activism. So I'm just happy to be in a group of a bunch of strong women that can just encourage each other to make a change in the world.
Yeah, and if anybody was wondering, if you're like, why do you guys keep saying our school is special? Well, I used to go there, but it's it's a technology and art school, so they have a theater academy, dance academy, music production, engineering, a medical academy. So it's a lot of people who leave middle school and want to do something they're passionate about. And it's still a public school, but you just have to have certain grades to get in and you have to audition. So it's a great environment because it's a lot of people who chose to be there. And I think that's what makes it a safer environment than some other public schools because people want to be there, they want to work hard. So we're really lucky to have that, but it still comes with all of the problems that you get in high school with drama, with, opposing views, with, lots of work. So if anybody was wondering about that, that's what we mean.
Yeah, it's the paradox of
Yeah.
an art school in the South. So
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. We're special, aren't we?
There's just certain hallways that don't mix with
Yeah. So obviously, Sustainable Sisters Project does more than just a podcast. We have social media. We're going to start our YouTube channel. We're working to expand. We're working to do outreach and partner with people. But we started this podcast because we want to share the conversations that we've already been having to help people that may not have found their place yet and want to discover themselves or just learn something new. And we want to welcome you guys to the start of what will hopefully be something very cool, very fun, and very different. Hopefully, we can make you laugh while also teaching you the ins and outs of what the heck goes on in a teenage life when they're trying to change the world. How's that? Pretty much
yeah,
sums it
I
up, right?
love that. That was great. You have the perfect
That was
voice.
beautiful. Kyle, you just have this podcasting
Do I have
voice.
a podcasting
It
voice?
makes me
Yes,
so
you
happy.
really do. Oh my God. What the heck? It sounds like you should be on NPR or something.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Welcome back to
That's
NPR
next.
News Channel.
It's all part of my master plan.
Of course. Kyle just called me like, yeah, we're making a podcast to demonstrate, feminism and be able to talk to that with people. And secretly, she's like, I'm just gonna make them hear my podcasting voice, and I'm gonna skip them to NPR.
I only just got told I have a podcasting voice the other day when I was testing out this microphone. And I was on the phone with Jayla, actually. She was like, Kyle, you have a podcasting voice. And I was like, what?
You do know.
At least my man voice is good for something.
You don't have a man voice. Shut up.
I love that. That is beautiful.
So, for those who don't know, I have called this podcast the Mixed Messages Podcast for multiple reasons. I think Riley was confused about this the other day. Um,
Call me out.
so one reason would be that I am multiracial. I am mixed race. In case you didn't make that connection,
I did
all
not
of
know
us
that.
are very different. The five of us that are on here today, and whoever we might bring in the future, are very different, and we bring our mixed views, mixed views, to create our one message that we share with you guys on this show. And the topics we discuss are very conflicting and mixed up because teens navigating modern America is not easy and very confusing. And we hope that this show will bring all of our listeners something different and mix it up a little bit.
Mix it up, wink, wink.
What a knee slapper.
Don't
The
embarrass me
world,
this way. I'm trying. Oh my god.
the world right now is giving so many mixed messages too. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much going on, so many opposing views, so much just terrible stuff that is happening because of stuff that's happened in the past and for the ignorance of people. And yeah, there's a lot to say, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of mixed messages. Wink, wink.
Definitely. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Is that a promo in my sense? Yeah. No, I definitely, because basically the U.S. is in not literally a war, but it sure feels like a war. And
My friend who I actually brought into this group who lives in England, they during January 6th, they DM me, they're just like, what is going on right now? And I'm like, I don't even know, to be honest. So they're just like, yeah, keep me posted.
well,
Yeah, let me know if
honestly,
things go farther south.
everything I try to stay out of the news because it's just so dramatic and depressing. But January 6th, I come home from cross country practice. I'm about to get in the shower and I check my phone. I just have all these messages from Kyle, and it's like, so are you guys seeing what's happening? I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, somebody looted. There's people that looted the Capitol building. And I'm like, there's what now?
What?
What?
Just in my own little world. I was minding my business, doing my apes, and then I hear the TV upstairs and my mother freaking out, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I see it, and I'm like, you're kidding.
I originally got like a Twitter notification. They're just like, oh, they're gathering in Washington. Oh, they're probably just gonna be a nuisance. And then like an hour later, I get a notification. They're just like, so currently there's protesters inside the Capitol, and I'm like, hold on.
The
Can we?
last time that happened was the War of 1812.
I know.
Say what you will about the protests on the Capitol building, but those people had some style.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah,
That's
fits
right.
were fire.
Yeah.
Those
Okay,
were
I'm gonna steer us away. I'm gonna steer us away from this topic because we have a whole episode about that coming up.
For
So
sure.
save all your witty comments about the fits for later.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna ask you guys what. Well, you kind of already answered this question, didn't you? But what made you guys want to join the club, and what do you want to see happen in the future? Go.
Sorry.
I can do it. Like I said earlier, just it was something different, something not something. It was something that you're not just over here like, I'm going to do this club because I like this and I can put it on my college resume. Which, yeah, definitely. But it was more of, hey, we're actually going to talk about stuff that's going on right now that matters, and we're not going to hear it through this filtered, biased thing, unless we have biased information. I mean, who knows? Depends on where we get our sources. But we're just going to talk about this really, or if that's a word, who knows. And we're going to go, and we're also going to promote this stuff. I was surprised by how fast it moved because I joined the club, and then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, it's like Abby's over here, like, so I started the Instagram page. We got everything on there. Everything's loaded up. And Kyle's like, yeah, we're talking about getting into a podcast, and we're getting all this art together. And I was like, whoa, what did I miss? What's going on?
You know I move fast.
But
Yeah.
so it was just something different. And I mean, in the future, I'd like to see, we'd be able to do more drives. Hopefully our podcast could get relatively viewed so that we could spread the message. I'll be telling people, promo, wink, wink. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Tell everybody that we have this podcast. I hope you like it.
HelloFresh, hit us up.
That's what I was doing all quarantine, was using HelloFresh. Also, guys, my mom just spammed the Sustainable Sisters Project Instagram.
Yeah. Oh
Woo!
my god. But yeah,
Yay.
Oh
but back to what Kyle asked. As I said earlier, I saw the post and was like, this is really epic. I really want to join. And then weeks pass because I got busy. And then I looked down at my phone again at this screenshotted poster. I'm like, oh, I really want to join this again. So then I DM Kyle. I'm like, hey, being the very organized person I am, I was like, can I have a Zoom link, please? And she's like, yeah, of course. And then I joined and I was like, sorry, I'm like a month late. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, this is pretty epic. We actually get to do epic things and do more than what we would do, say, with like a school club. And like how Riley said, it's not just for, college resume. And I hope in the future we can like have maybe like an establishment, or we do just more stuff, like an actual like place, like a building, You get what you picking up what I'm putting down?
I am. I'm picking it up quick.
Do I hear
Yeah.
some sponsors? Come sponsor.
Once
Yeah.
again, Hello Fresh. If you're
Sponsorships are
listening.
accepted.
I definitely agree with Lydia too. Like, I really hope in the future this becomes something like much bigger than just a school club because I think we have someone from the UK in this club, if I'm not
Yes, we
Mhm.
do.
yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
So
Florida.
I have
internet
a lot of
friends.
hope that it's
Yes.
gonna turn into something like really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something else really quick because you guys brought this to my into my head, but it would definitely be cool if we could go into college and that this would continue behind us.
Continue. Yep.
Yes.
That
Definitely.
we could get big enough where we could just start helping out high schoolers, have
Right.
information sessions. This is what you need to do to get into college, offer big enough we can do like scholarships and stuff. It would definitely be
Yeah.
cool to be able to benefit the community in multiple
Oh,
ways.
Yeah, we could like continue this into
Yes.
college, even though we might be at like different campuses. We could still, just meet up, and be like, "Yo, how y'all doing?"
I think that would really help spread the
How y'all
message in
do?
the club. Like being at
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
campuses. That would be so exciting. And I really
Yes.
like
I
the
mean,
scholarship
really,
idea too.
I would never have thought that would have been possible unless COVID-19 had happened because we've never met in person before
Oh,
as a
true.
group.
Yeah.
So, I
Me and
mean,
the
we're all
girls,
set.
me
Yeah,
and
it
the
would
girls
be
after
really
the
good.
vaccine. Yeah, me and the girls after the vaccine meeting up and stuff.
We're probably gonna edit some of that out anyway.
um, okay, so I think one of my biggest motivations was everything that had happened with George Floyd because I was just like social media, it was blowing up, and just watching all of those things, I was getting into such like a dark place. I was like, I think I cried the night before I saw Kyle's poster because it was getting to me so bad because this has been happening for so long and people were finally seeing
Yeah.
it. It was like, what can I do? And then I saw Kyle's poster and I was like, oh my god, somewhere I can go where I can talk about this, where I'm not going to feel so lonely, where I can share these views, where other people, might understand where I'm coming from and are feeling the same thing. And you can be like, hey, this is an issue and we need to do something about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was totally driven. Did I say this? I don't know if I said this earlier, but I was totally driven by the anger that I felt of not well, not just seeing these things happen, not just seeing even the way protesters were being treated by police, but mostly seeing the way that kids our age were reacting to this. I was so angry. I'm angry seeing friends that I kept very, very, very close to me uh not agree with me on this, not support me on this as a brown girl who would easily be identified as black and shot just as quick as anybody else. Seeing people say that I am, brainwashed by the media and that this is not true and that white privilege doesn't exist and all this stuff. No, no, sir. That's not how this happens. So, as mad as I was at those people who were changing my view so quickly, I was also super inspired and super encouraged by the other half of the people that I know, like you guys, that are talking about this stuff and saying, yeah, this has been happening. Where's everybody else been? And then you took up arms and started posting on social media and getting your voice out there. And I was like, you know what? This needs to happen now. And that's where the conversation started. And I'm glad it's continued, even though many other people have not continued like we have.
Yeah, exactly. I, yeah, 100%. Everything that Kyle said, that was, and Kennedy said, that was definitely motivation for me. Also, like, my personal motivation is I'm, I've always been a very spiritual person. Might even call me a hippie, perhaps. But when Kyle sent out the thing, I was the poster about Sustainable Sisters Project, I was like, bro, I just got this gut feeling, and it was just like, yeah, you're gonna go do that, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, and it was just a strong feeling. It wasn't even I didn't have to think about it. It was just one of those things that just felt right.
I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, Abby, but I think you were in the middle of a move to Florida when we first started this. At least when I first got on one of the Zoom calls, and I could be completely incorrect in this, but I think that this might have really helped you. That instead of thinking, "Hey, I'm moving away from all my friends and everything that I know, and I'm going into something new," you were like, "Hey, I'm branching out into the rest of the United States. I can start something over here for this club. I can start this in Florida, and I can do something with this move instead of just feeling kind of like this is all brand new to me and I don't know what to do."
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, so my dad, he because of COVID stuff, he lost his job, so he had to move to Florida for his new job. And I have a really big family, and for months I didn't see family I had lived with my whole life. And I was moving to Florida during the pandemic, so that was really scary. I was trying to figure out how to sign up for school during the pandemic, and it was incredibly hard. And then there was more personal stuff with my mental health. I struggle with a lot of mental health problems, and it very severely. And it was really it felt really nice that Kyle invited me, and it was just a moment of clarity that was like, yeah, this is one thing you're sure of. You're going to go do that. Even if it doesn't lead anywhere, it's a positive thing. And it felt really nice to have something with somebody or with people I know who I'm friends with. Even if I wasn't super close with you guys, it was nice to know that people wanted to talk to me, that I wasn't just alone in Florida. So it was just an all around positive thing for me to do. And it felt like it was something I definitely had control over. Not like control over the whole club. I mean, like, I chose to go. I chose what I wanted to speak about in our like meetings. I think I did one or two presentations, and then I started doing a good majority. I started leading the what's it called? All the social media. And that's one thing I'm really like, I think I'm good at. Like, I'm on social media all the time. So it was just a really positive thing. And I felt that immediately. And that's what motivated me to join.
I cannot imagine having this club without Abby in it.
Oh my God.
I can't
Oh,
imagine it. You guys, I'm not even capping right now. I sent this out and I was like, who am I going to send this to? Because I was super nervous about if I send it to too many people and not enough people show up, are the other people going to like judge me for it? Like, ugh. And I was like, listen, we're going to narrow it down to the people you trust, the people you feel like you can talk to easily, and then we're going to grow out from there, right? Who's at the top of the list? Abby, Kennedy, Riley, Tegan, Gabby, Lydia. That's the top of my list.
Yo, yo,
And I went
yo.
out from I'm not even capping. I made my list. I scrolled through Instagram. I saw what they were talking about, and I was like, I trust these ladies, and I know that their hearts and their passions are going to grow with me because I
Period.
grew a lot in 2020. I changed a lot in 2020. My friend group is different. different in 2021. Hello, 2021. I got this boss group of girls surrounding me, and I am inspired by these girls every single day. And I cut out those who did not need to be with me on this new journey that I'm on. And I'm very, 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 very glad that I have the group that I do, that I'm talking to right now. And even those that aren't on the episodes with us, that you guys are here with me.
I just got chilled.
I feel so honored.
Well, we're
Oh my
recording a
God.
podcast. I'm not supposed to cry.
Yeah, well, Abby almost made me cry. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get them back.
Right. We can make clickbaity titles. Girls crying,
Oh my God, she
talking
almost
about
made me
life.
cry.
Girl cries to emotional message from leader.
So, how do you guys feel about becoming an activist, because that's what we are, while still being a teenager with all of our teenagery responsibilities that are very stressful?
Well, for sure, I would like to be an activist because, like, with my future, I'm often nervous about it because, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do or, like, how it's gonna work because I know vaguely what I want to do, but I don't know if it's gonna fall through or not. But one constant that I know I could do with my life, and it doesn't matter if I win or lose at it, is activism. And that's great, because now I have these people who want to do it with me, so I'm not alone in it, And even though I'm like a teenager who sleeps till noon and sometimes forgets her own name, it's nice to be able to like speak up, and yeah, and I've already tried to, because like with the George Floyd movement, I went out in Charlotte and I protested, and it was pretty cool. It made me feel good, and doesn't matter about school, because people are like, "Yeah, why are you at the protest?" I'm like, I'm gonna block you now. But, but yeah, it's nice because it makes me feel good, even though I'm just a teenager. I can help.
I kind of feel like I'm finally doing something with a purpose because like my life is just like go 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 go. You're here, you need to be here, you need to finish your schoolwork, you need to do this after school activity, and it's like you don't have time to breathe. But then when Kyle offered this opportunity, it was like I was suffocating, and then I see this and I'm like, whoa, something I can do that's like could actually lead somewhere that has like it's going to bring real meaning to what I'm doing. Like I have like a goal I can look forward to other than, school and, getting out of North Carolina. But like it was just, that deep breath I took, like maybe I can finally do something with, like a true purpose
Yeah,
to it.
it's definitely a lot. In all honesty, when Kyle first asked me to join, I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I mean, this seems like a cool club. And, Kyle's my friend, so I'll try it for her. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I had a lot to do. I know some people here know how much I have to do. It's ridiculous. But I'll keep my mouth shut. But I was like, okay, it's another club. It's another responsibility I'm going to have to add. But, I'll try it because Kyle asked me to. And I had to miss a bunch of meetings for cross country, but I'm finally in a place where I can take the time and I can join the club. And, the first time I was able to do a Zoom meeting, I was like, hey, these are my people. This is a group of girls that were talking about things that matter. And even though, you have all this stuff to do, I feel like when you find something that's important to you, you're going to make time for it. And so that's just my view on, activism and in the teenage life and how much we have to do that. If you find something that you want to do with your heart and soul into it, you'll find time for it. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love that. I
I
Yeah,
agree.
absolutely love that.
exactly. Yeah, and I think what what's makes it feel like it flows and it just feels right to join SSP. It's not about you, like it's not about each of us personally, and that was it's about all the things going on in the world and how we can help, and making it not about me, I guess, helped me a lot because so much of my um, mental health is all focused on, I'm a failure, I'm this, I'm not doing this, and it's very self-destructive, and it was nice to do something that was positive and taking time for something I care about. And it was kind of like self-care, and people don't realize that self-care is hard for people with mental health because you don't
Mhm.
deserve it. But this was kind of like a self-care because I'm helping other people, which I've always liked. I've always, you guys know, you'll know soon enough once you listen to these podcasts more. I always have something to say, always. So it was nice because it was something that was helping other people, and it wasn't about me. And that's what's great about Sustainable Sisters Project. We're helping other people first, and that ends up helping ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah, so my response is like a little different. Don't get me wrong, I really love activism, and I just really love being a part of something that is so much bigger than just myself, and how it can be motivating to like hopefully see and make a change in this world. But like being a teenager and navigating life and what you want to do and trying to figure your own inner self out while being an activist, I think it can be kind of exhausting at times because you know what you're doing is right and you want to send out a message into the world and you want to encourage other people to like make a change, but then, people just see you as like, oh, hormonal teenage girl. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She'll get over this in like a week or so. So it's like, it's exhausting because people don't take you seriously and then they look down on you because they think you're being disrespectful or you don't know what you're talking about. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get that 100%.
Or that
Mhm.
we're emotional. That's the thing. We're too
Yeah.
emotional. We're teenage girls. We're too emotional. We don't understand. We're not looking at it from, a bird's eye view. That's incorrect. We know
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Just
Yeah.
because we're a teenager and a girl doesn't mean we know what we're talking about. Is it like if it's right or not? We're not, we're naive still for some things because we're young, but we're not naive about, you know, basic human decency and what it means to be a good person and what it means to be an American and to be active as an American and speaking on the right thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I completely agree with you, Gabby.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. And like I honestly when people say like, "Oh, you're being too emotional," like you're not looking at it in the right perspective. Like even if you're being emotional about it, you're being empathetic. Like I think that's one thing that's
Yeah.
really important in activism. Like if you can if you can put yourself in that other person's shoe, I think that gives you more of an advantage to your activism.
Yeah, and Gabby, what
Yeah.
you just said really struck with me because it's not, being empathetic is important to activism, but I feel like when you look at something or you watch something or you see a video and you think that's not right, that's not something that should be controversial. Like if you're looking at people being shot, or I know this has nothing to do with human rights, but I saw recently um all over the place that some people found a manatee that had Trump literally carved into its skin. And I looked at it, I said, that's not right. That shouldn't be controversial at all. It's the same as human rights. Like, I think you could relate that being carved into the manatee's skin is the same as being shot for something that you believe in. People come to America for freedom of religion, freedom of the press. But, they come to America for all this stuff. And at this point in time, it's not there because, like Gabby said, people aren't empathetic. And I feel
Right.
like that's definitely a root cause of what's going on. Because with empathy comes not necessarily agreement, but compromise. And I just feel like
Exactly.
that's where people are clashing right now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Exactly. I also feel like people don't understand that we're going through this every day. Like we're
Yeah.
experiencing it at school, out in our everyday lives, like whatever we do. Like we're living through this. And once we're older, we're going to be the ones who are dealing with this. So don't tell us that we shouldn't be
Right.
focused on it or we shouldn't be paying attention to it or have an opinion on it because we should. Like this is our future we're looking at,
Yeah, I definitely
basically.
agree. Like I often I spend like Abby said, I spend a lot of time on social media, and that's how I get, like educated. And I know, like, I don't get educated through like news sources. I see people talking and I see how they're feeling. And like, I see videos of things that are atrocious and I'm like, this isn't really that great. So, and that's how I'm like informed, and you form empathy around that. Like, hey, this is a group of people that's experiencing this really gross thing. I should do something about it. And I always get told like, "Oh, you need to just turn off the news, You're not going to like you can't do anything about it and you're just corrupting yourself." Like, I mean, if someone posts a video of something kind of like bad, I'm going to want to help them, and you can't just tell me like, "No, you can't." Like, I'm gonna have to. Like, you can't, It's just basic empathy.
Yeah. Ooh, you guys have some good responses to that question. Good thing I wrote that
Yeah.
one down, you know?
Yeah.
For me, like starting this, I totally get what Gabby was saying, and I definitely feel what Riley was saying. And I've come to feel them both the passion that I have for doing this and the, you know, anger and the tiredness that comes with this from when I first started to, talk on social media, post things on social media, and I literally haven't stopped since. I'm probably very irritating to people that don't want to be anti-racist, but
Same.
but the I feel it. mm, it's difficult it's weird to talk about because I feel like if you haven't experienced it yourself, you won't understand it. But what I feel in my chest when I started the club, when we had our first guest speakers from the amazing and incredible Project 214, which we will definitely be having them on this show, mark my words.
Oh my god.
Um, when I talk to you guys and you guys have such incredible responses to whatever the heck I might throw at you at a moment's notice that you're not prepared for, and whenever I see something and tweet something and post something that I know is going to make somebody angry, but is the definite correct thing to say in the moment, I feel that in my chest when I'm writing an essay about Sustainable Sisters Project, about anti-racism, about movements. I feel that. But at the same time, when I was posting all these things in early June, July, before I started Sustainable Sisters Project, I'm talking and I'm getting a lot of backlash, and I'm talking and people want to debate with me on things that I know to be fact.
Oh yeah.
And that's tiring. That's draining when I'm trying to yell and scream over text because that's how we do things.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to make you understand that I'm not crazy. I've seen this with my own eyes. I have experienced it myself. My friends have experienced it themselves. I have watched someone experience it themselves. And for somebody to say, like, I don't care that there's video of it, if I haven't seen it myself, then I don't believe it. Well, then go ahead. I need you to move out the way and continue to let change makers work because obviously you're not helping. You are
Mhm.
standing in the way of what needs to happen for people to live the life they deserve to live. And that's what made me angry. I was alone in that point because the people that I trusted the most to uplift me were now opposing me and still trying to be my friend at the same time. And I was like, no, 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 no. That's
Oh yeah.
not going to work. You're just messing with my headspace, bro. And then I started Sustainable Sisters Project because
Definitely.
I need this. I need something else. I need it sounds kind of bad, doesn't it? I need uplifting. Actually, no, it doesn't. I need I need someone, right? So I figured if I'm going through this, somebody else is going through this as well, and maybe they need somebody too. And from what your responses are, I'm I honestly I didn't know. I didn't know you guys felt that way about Sustainable Sisters Project, but I'm so, so glad that I did because that means that me taking that step beyond, way beyond what I felt comfortable with, my independent little quiet, work and then show everybody what I've got later, self, sending that out and saying, I'm going to work with other people this time I'm glad it's helped you guys because I didn't know it would help you that much. I was hoping it wouldn't be a nuisance, but I'm glad it seems to not be that much.
And going off of what Kyle said, I think if people really wanted to be educated, they'd do their own research and they wouldn't expect you to have to explain it to them. If they were your real friends, they would try to understand and not just keep debating with you over what you believe in or what is truly
Yeah.
a fact. And it's not your job. It is you shouldn't be expected to have to educate all the people in your life about what is right and wrong. Like there's a point where you just have to be like, you need
And
to figure this out for yourself.
education is definitely important, like Kennedy said, because I will debate you. I love arguing with people. I will, if you have factual evidence, I will debate you. I have no issue doing it. And you know what? If your evidence is strong and going into school here, if you have like a source that's actually credible on that, sure, we can have this debate and we can go around respecting each other's opinions. Maybe we don't agree with the other person's opinions, but if it's factual, that's fine. But if you're going to be out here spouting utter nonsense that you find on, you know, we all know TikTok's not necessarily credible. Like, if you're going to find stuff you find on there, there's some news websites that I'm pretty sure every single news website leans either left or right. You're not going to find one that's completely credible. Correct me if I'm wrong. You got to really dig for that information. So I just feel like education is definitely very important in the society that we live in right now.
With that comes privilege. That's where privilege comes into play.
No, yeah, exactly. Like over the summer when I was posting all this stuff and like posting just stuff to like educate people because some Instagram graphics are pretty nice with that. I'd get so many people in my DMs like, "Are you serious? Like, hey, I know these things are true." Because I've done my own research, and Kennedy knows this. I had one guy in my DMs for a long
Oh
time,
God.
and we like personally I get why people like debating. I can see that, but I do not have the mental strength because I too have mental health issues. I do not have the mental strength to debate. It is so draining to me, and I'm not very good at it. Like I have all the right ideas and I know what I want to say and I know what I know is right. I just can't put it out there correctly because I'm not great with words, as you people already know from me talking now, but um but yeah, Kennedy knows he would not back down. And some people just don't want to be educated. Like, it's just sad.
And
Especially
see, that's when you press that
Yeah, I
block
had to press
button.
that block
Hmm.
button. And, like, I knew this person for a long time. Like, they were a good friend of the family, and I had to block them. Like, it was that bad.
I
when
mean,
they
yeah,
want to debate human rights.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of.
You know what?
Mm,
If you want to debate about, what's the best economic structure, which president was better for America, like things
right.
like that. Who things like that is okay to debate. But when it's like, you know, should gay people have the right to love? should
Yeah.
or
Lord.
should black people not be shot or by the police? Like it's like, why are we debating these things? Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
this is
Because
what?
there's some things that you can't debate. I completely agree with you, Abby. Like
Yeah.
women's rights are lower than men's rights. There's literally a pay gap. You can look up on Google what is the pay gap.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's some amount of
Proven fact.
but there's a pay gap between men and women. There's all these things you can look up. You can look up shooting statistics and all these things that shouldn't have to be debated. Even, I mean, I'll go out and say it that, I am a Christian and I understand that there are LGBTQ plus rights and I support them. Love is love. You can't just tell someone you can't love this person. That's not how it works. That's not first off,
Mhm.
that's not a federal right that people should have because
Yeah.
watching the government watching what are they called watching the voting for the presidential election. I was like, oh, this looks cool, and I clicked on it, and it was things that were being passed in different states, and Nevada was had it up to vote to ban gay marriage, and I was like, I can't believe we're taking such a huge step back that this is even up for debate, especially through a federal entity.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just I'm done now.
No,
Yeah,
Exactly. And it's not your life. Like, why are you trying
exactly.
to
Exactly.
interfere with
I
how
don't
other
want
people
to
are
have
trying
that
to live theirs?
harm
It's none of
people
your business.
in any
exactly.
way.
Like I would like me and my mom. We agree on like most basic human right things, but like when it comes down to the minutia of certain things, I will scream at her like, "This is what people who are experiencing this have told me. Why aren't you listening to that?" Like, if gay people, black people, any people are like saying things and they're all saying the same thing, then why haven't you like internalized that? I don't understand, you know.
Yeah,
Because they're scared. People are scared to see things for what they really are, and they're scared to admit maybe they've made mistakes, and it's like nobody is asking you to be like the freaking like next big activist. We're just asking you to, you don't necessarily have to understand us, but respect us and respect who we are as people and respect our right to live and life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And if you're saying that certain laws shouldn't be made because of your, the way you were raised or maybe religious beliefs, and you say you're patriotic, well, you know, we have a separation of church and state for a reason. And just because there are laws that you think don't necessarily follow your religion, there are plenty of people who there are laws that don't follow their religion, but there's a reason because when one religion completely takes over a government, then it becomes a very toxic country. And that's why we have separation of church and state. It's just something so that everybody gets the rights as Americans that they, are born with and that they deserve. And it's not up for debate, I hope that makes sense.
yeah. And the
Mhm.
the arguments, like the conversations that like I know I have had to have, like Lydia said, with people where you end up having to hit the block button, and it hurts when it's someone that you think you're going to be friends with forever. You know, we're best friends forever. And they're supportive of you and you're supportive of them, and all of a sudden you hit this one topic that some would call politics and others would call human rights. And you you can't agree on that. And it's difficult when one of you experiences it and the other one doesn't, and one of you comes from a place of privilege and doesn't recognize it. And I mean, when people have to confront these facts of racism and of microaggressions and of privilege, that reflects on white people as a negative context, and many of them don't want to come to terms with the fact that they may be the almost villain in someone else's story. And rather than trying to come to terms with that, address it, change it, and move on, they would rather deny it and live in their own state of ignorant bliss, which is not helping anyone move forward. But eventually, you do have to hit the block button despite, yelling and screaming your heart out to the point where where you are drained, and then you end up starting a girls group and feeling happy again. In my experience.
It's almost like a
Yeah,
betrayal,
it
honestly,
is.
when your friend like refuses to even try and understand where you're coming from, because that's supposed to be the person you can depend on. Like, you call them at 4 a.m. when you're crying your eyes out about something
Yeah.
like that. You're supposed to be able to talk to them about this stuff. It shouldn't have to be something you avoid when you're with
Mhm.
them.
We are all different, and we support each other in our differentness, in our uniqueness. And to those people out there who are maybe going through something with someone who is different from you, just know that if it gets to that point, maybe they're not the friend you need right now. Maybe you need to find your squad like I have.
Exactly. And, like, if they try to guilt trip you with, like, "Oh, you're unfriending me because of difference of politics," like, if it's
Oh
not
my
a difference of
god.
politics, it's not a difference of freaking politics, okay? I've had that thrown in my face so many times. Like,
Mhm.
"You know you're unfriending me just because of politics." I'm like, "Yeah, I do," and then hit the block button, like
Like, thank you, next B. Like, okay.
I think people need to understand that sometimes people just aren't meant to be your
Right.
friends forever. Like, there are people who should only be in your life for a
Right.
season, And once that season is over,
Yeah.
keep it
Yes.
moving.
I am thoroughly involved with that. I believe that the friends that I have now let go and left in 2020 were there specifically for the purpose of setting me up for what I'm doing right now. Like right now. Like sitting here with you guys talking about
Yes,
stuff that
ma'am.
actually matters
Yeah.
and making change, being a change maker, shaking a table because ooh, I love shaking tables.
Oh yes,
And
yes, yes,
also,
yes.
like, I think people think like all of us are amazing, but I feel like when you see that, teenagers are going out and they're making a movement, sometimes it's like, well, I'm not as cool as them. I'm not doing that much. Like, guys, we're all pretty normal. I mean, some of
Yeah.
us are super hard workers, but if it makes you feel any better, I was failing classes at the beginning of the school year. I struggle with mental illness. I'm a teenager. I like playing video games. We're all normal here. And
Yeah.
it's okay if you're not, if you don't think you're made to be an activist. We just want people to know that we should spread love and acceptance and understanding and support women in our lives. And it's okay to still be a teenager right now.
Yeah, you
So,
can, like me, you can sit in your room and knit and watch Star Wars. Um,
Yeah.
all we ask is that, like, you don't even have to, like, just sit there and just stick up for people who need it and just say, just spread the message and just listen. That's all.
Yeah,
Yes. Don't be a bystander. You can post something on
Come
your
on now.
social media. Don't be a
even if
Come on.
bystander.
even
Don't
if
be
you're
quiet.
just here, just listening to us right now,
Yeah.
that's enough.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
perfectly enough
As
if you're
long as
just
you
listening to
apply
this
it.
podcast.
You do
Yeah.
have to apply it,
That's a
guys.
good point.
You can't just listen to it and be like, "Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, moving on." Yeah, I don't know what those
Okay.
Yes,
girls were
you
talking
have.
about. They're really weird and they talk about a lot of stuff that like I don't really care about. No.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
It's like a program. It's like
Yeah.
a program. You just have to take that
Yeah.
first step.
Yeah.
and
Just take that first
sometimes
step.
if you feel bad that you can't post, if you can't shout from the rooftops what you believe, so for some people, that's dangerous for them if they live in a
Right.
very racist home or a homophobic or transphobic home, or you're surrounded by people at school that you know are violent or that you're scared of or you know that you will be ostracized for. That's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. And I think it's easy to judge when you don't see someone, like outwardly all the time standing up for
Right.
stuff. But, we're not here to judge. We just want people to listen. And, you don't always, we understand if you
Mhm.
can't do a lot all the time. So that's just what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
And you definitely don't have to start your own Sustainable Sisters project. Don't 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 go out here trying to I would definitely encourage reaching out of your comfort zone like I did. I definitely don't regret doing that. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I am me and whoever you are you. And everyone is very different. Everyone's on a different path. Everyone's on a different journey. And I think if you think that now is the time to make change like I knew, then go on, do it. You can do it because you don't have to do anything extraordinary to make an extraordinary difference. Um,
Love that.
but
That's
if you
great.
think that later is when it's going to happen, then think about it. Think about what could I do now versus what could I do then. And if you're in a situation where you can't do something now, then think about what you can do then and reach for that because work does do a lot. I've learned so much through trying to make this club work that my effort is teaching me a lot of things that I did not know about before, but I don't regret it. So definitely take the first step whenever you think the first step should be taken.
Mhm.
And, I really want to just take this second to just encourage anyone who is listening just to take a step. You know,
Yeah.
start listening to the podcast. Start making those conversations. Promo, promo, promo. But start making making those conversations with your friends. Find yourself a trusted group of friends. Really look at who you're hanging out with. Are those the right people? Not just in activism and in politics, but are these people the ones that I want to surround me when I make a
Right.
step in my life, when I make a change? Heck, change anything. We're stuck in this little limbo. Cut your hair
Yeah.
if you want to cut your hair, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm preaching all of a sudden, but you know, take a step. You
Hey, you know what? One, I love how Riley keeps putting promos in the program, not even outside. I love how she keeps promoting the show in the show. Oh my god! Please continue listening to the show. And you know what? Number two, if you don't have that group of friends that you think you should be surrounded with, come hit us up. You can find us on Instagram at Sustainable Sisters Project and Twitter at Sustainable Sis 7. Hit us
Yeah.
up and we will hit you up with that Zoom link that everybody's been talking about, the coveted Zoom link, and you can come join our conversation. Thank you to all the lovely listeners who hopefully listened to this first episode. We hope to see you again in the next episode and the next one and the next one. Feel free to join us anytime and don't forget to hit us up on Instagram and Twitter. We will see you next time. Love, the Sustainable Sisters.
And shout out to my mom because I know she's listening.
know.